no stranger. He's been on with us before. Pastor John Hagee from San Antonio, Texas. He is a prolific author and speaks on many different issues. I guess best well known for his teaching on Israel and on the end times and so forth. And he joins us now. Pastor John, this is Tim with Ray. Thanks for being our guest.
Tim, it's my pleasure to be with you, Ray. God bless you, and thank you for what you do.
Appreciate it very much. Tell us about your church just a moment there. I know you've been there quite a long time, hadn't you?
Yes, I've been in the ministry 55 years, and 47 of those years I've been the pastor of this church. Cornerstone Church is an evangelical, non-denominational church. We have over 20,000 active members. We're located here on the north side of San Antonio on Loop 1604 for any of you who'd like to come to church next Sunday.
Did you say you've been 47 years at that one church?
Yes.
That's a lot of deacons.
This church body, we've built 4 different churches in the city. As the congregation increased in size, we built a larger and bigger church, and this is the 4th church that will seat 5,000 people and park that many cars. And this is my last church because I'll be 74 in April, and I know that if we built a 10,000-seat church, we could fill it in a week, but the debt structure would be something I would not bequeath to my son and to his generation.
Yeah, and you probably don't want to mess with it. Have I got that right?
You have a way of getting to the bottom line so quickly.
You probably don't want to mess with a building program when you're 74 years old. You're ready to talk about things that you're more interested in, like the new book you got out called Four Blood Moons.
Right. Four Blood Moons, I believe, is going to be the most powerful prophetic book that I've ever written, and some of those books have sold over 1 million copies. I have always been intrigued by the writings of Joel, and Joel, the 2nd chapter, Joel writes, "And I will show wonders in the heavens. The sun shall be turned to darkness," which is a solar eclipse, "and the moon into blood before the coming of the great and awesome day of the Lord." Those same words are given in Acts 2, the 19th chapter. Jesus said in Luke, the 21st chapter, beginning at verse 25, "And there shall be signs in the sun, the moon, and the stars. And when you see these things begin to happen, look up, and lift up your heads, because your redemption draweth nigh." So we have a threefold Bible confirmation that something is going to happen with the sun and the moon, and that God is using them to send us a signal. The biblical evidence that God totally controls the sun and the moon would be in Joshua, the 10th chapter, where Joshua prayed and the sun stood still. And then in the story of Hezekiah, who God was going to give 15 more years, and Hezekiah asked for the sign from God that he literally make the sundial back up. So it backed up 10 degrees on the sundial of Ahaz. I believe that those 2 incidences balance out the solar clock as far as split-second accuracy. But back to the issue that God controls the sun and the moon. A blood moon is when the sun, the earth, and the moon are in a direct alignment, and the rays of the sun go through the earth's atmosphere and shine on the moon, producing a reddish glow. The NASA is the one who keeps the records. This is not something that a group of preachers got together and said, this is going to happen. But NASA has said only 3 times in over 500 years have we had a tetrad. A tetrad is 4 sequential blood moons. And those sequential blood moons, NASA says, happened in 1492. In 1492 was the Edict of Expulsion, with King Ferdinand and Queen Isabella, where the Jews were kicked out of Spain, given 14 days to leave because they refused to convert to Catholicism. And so they only took what they could carry in a suitcase. All of their real estate and so forth was taken over by the Roman Church. The second time you had four blood moons was in 1948, when Israel became a state. And the third time we had four blood moons was in 1967, when Jerusalem was reunited with Israel. So each time there have been four blood moons, NASA is very clearly stating that it involved the Jewish people and twice the state of Israel. So now NASA is saying that four blood moons are going to appear for a fourth and final time. And those blood moons are going to begin in April of next year, April 15th, 2014. And ironically enough, that's going to be Passover. The next blood moon will be October the 8th, 2014, which is the Feast of Tabernacles. There will then be a solar eclipse, March the 20th, 2015. Biblically, a solar eclipse indicates the judgment of God to Gentile nations. The third blood moon will be April the 4th, 2015, which will be Passover. The fourth blood moon will be September the 28th, 2015, which is the Feast of Tabernacles. When you stop to think that God has to control the sun, the earth, and the moon to get them in a direct alignment to produce the blood moon, and that the next four will be Passover, Feast of Tabernacles, Passover, Feast of Tabernacles. It is something that is so absolutely unusual, it cannot be passed up.
Pastor Hagee, as you put this together, it's a fascinating combination of the Bible and the very best of modern science. So if you take the four blood moons in the past and how they affected the nation of Israel, do we have any way of knowing? Can we even speculate what it may mean? I mean, we're coming up now, 2014, 2015, in the next 6 to 24 months. What is all this going to mean?
Well, here are some things I think that it could be. One, God may do absolutely nothing until the last blood moon has been shown in September of 2015. Because all of the signs that were given before in 1492, 1948, and 1967 have a pattern. It starts out with tragedy and ends in triumph. In 1492, it was the Spanish Inquisition. There was the Roman Church murdered thousands of Jewish people because they wouldn't convert. They burned them at the stake. They put them on torture racks. It was a living valley of tears. And then they were expelled from the country. But it was that year that a Jewish sailor, a Jewish Italian sailor by the name of Christopher Columbus, was given maps and money to find the Jews a new home. And he found America, and America became the new home for the Jewish people, where they have been received and blessed, and they have blessed this nation and until Israel was born. In 1948, the four blood moons announcing Israel, but prior to that was the 7 years of Holocaust, and then Israel was born. In 1967, you had the Six-Day War, which was a tragedy, and then you had Jerusalem being liberated and rejoining the state of Israel. So now we have four blood moons that are getting ready to happen. I believe that there is going to be something that's going to happen in the Middle East that will change the course of human history, and it's going to happen between the spring of next year and September of 2015. I believe that the United States, under our present leadership, is not going to support Israel in their defense of the nation of Israel from a nuclear bomb that Iran most assuredly is building and will put together with Russia's help. I think the economy of the United States of America could either go into hyperinflation and produce a global economy that just runs off the chart. We are right now $17 trillion in debt. That's $123,000 for every American who has a job. One mathematician has calculated that if you stack that in $1 bills, it would go to the moon 5 times. That's an enormous amount of money. Our country is technically right now bankrupt. We are producing $85 billion a month. We're printing that much money, inflating our currency every day that we talk. America does not have the political will to face the crisis, and sooner or later foreign nations are going to make the decision for us, de-Americanize the American economy, and the bottom is going to fall out.
Other than that, everything's pretty good, though, don't you think?
The sun
Pastor
is shining,
John?
God is on his throne, and everything's going to be all right. That's what Jesus said. When you see these things begin to happen, and they have started happening in our life. The blood moons happened in 1948. I was alive then. I was 8 years old. Jerusalem went back to Jerusalem. That happened in my life. The next series of blood moons, God willing, I'm going to see, and I believe that this is God's signal to humanity, using the heavens as his billboard to announce something very special is getting ready to take place. When you see these signs begin to happen, and we have seen them, look up. Lift up your heads, because your redemption is coming from heaven. It's not coming from Washington. Your redemption draws nigh.
The book is called Four Blood Moons. Something
Yes,
is
sir.
about to change. Pastor John Hagee is the author, and he's been our guest the last few minutes. Now, mine says advanced reader's copy. Is this out now?
Yes, the book is out. That's been released for 10 days now, and it's really taken off. We've sold 100,000 copies in just a little over a week. It's going very well. You can get a copy at John Hagee Ministries. You can get it at Amazon. You can get it wherever good books are sold, anywhere.
Okay. Well, listen, thank you, Brother Hagee, for being our guest. And very interesting, and people can read it and make their own conclusions. But you lay it out pretty well here. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
Blessings to you, Tim and Ray.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, brother.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.